Evaluating algebraic expressions. The essential question is, how do we evaluate expressions? And today we're just going to do all examples for this topic. So example 1 is evaluate x plus 3 for x equals 7. So the key to evaluating is substitution. Think about in a sports game, if a player's not doing too well, they'll usually put him out and take someone else and replace it. They call it a sub. Or even think of school, when a teacher is out sick, a substitute will come in replace of him or her. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the variable x and we're going to substitute it with 7 because that's what it's telling us, that x is equal to 7. So we're going to rewrite the expression as 7 plus 3 and then simplify. 7 plus 3 is equal to 10, so our answer is 10. What if they wanted to evaluate when x was equal to 9? We would do the same thing. We would just substitute. Instead of x, we'd replace it with 9. So then we would have 9 plus 3, which simplifies to 12. So the expression can change depending upon what the variable is. Example 2. Evaluate x squared plus x minus 4y when x is equal to -2 and y is equal to 1/2. So sometimes you'll have more than one variable. In example 2, we have two variables. We have x and we have y. We know that x equals -2, so we're going to substitute every x with -2. The first term is x squared. Whenever we substitute, I like to use parentheses. So we're going to write parentheses -2 squared plus parentheses -2 minus, now I'm going to take the term 4y, and the problem is telling me that y is equal to 1/2. So instead of y, I'm going to substitute 1/2. So I have minus 4 parentheses 1/2. So whenever we substitute, we're going to use parentheses. -2 squared gives us +4. Plus -2 gives us just -2. And we have 4 times 1/2, which is 2. So we also have, again, -2. So I'll go through that one more time. -2 squared is 4. Plus -2 just becomes -2. And 4 times 1/2 is 2. So we have -2. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Example 3. Evaluate y squared plus x cubed plus 7 for y is equal to -2 and x is equal to 1. So again, we have more than one variable, but we're just going to substitute in as they tell us. Instead of y squared, I'm going to write parentheses -2 squared. Instead of the y, I'm substituting in -2. Then I have plus x cubed. Instead of x cubed, I'm going to write parentheses 1 cubed. Instead of the x, I substituted the 1. Then I just have plus 7. That just stays the same. Now I can solve. -2 squared is +4. 1 cubed, 1 times 1 times 1 is just 1. And then the plus 7 stays the same. Order of operations, I go from left to right. 4 plus 1 is 5, and 5 plus 7 is 12. Our last example, evaluate negative 7x squared minus 5 plus y squared minus x. 4x equals negative 3 and y equals 4. So first first term is negative 7x squared, negative 7 parentheses negative 3 squared. Instead of the x, I substituted in parentheses negative 3. Minus 5 stays the same. The next term is plus y squared. Instead of y, I'm going to substitute 4, so plus parentheses 4 squared. Minus x, instead of minus x, I'm going to write minus parentheses negative 3. Separate that for you. Okay, so now we need to follow PEMDAS, the order of operations. P stands for parentheses, so we want to get rid of all these parentheses. And then the exponents, we want to do those first. So negative 3 squared is positive 9, so this gives us negative 7 times 9. Minus 5 stays the same. Then we have 4 squared. 4 squared is 16, so plus 16. Then we have a minus negative 3. Two negatives make a positive, so we now have plus 3. Multiplication comes first according to PEMDAS, so negative 7 times 9 is negative 63. Minus 5 plus 16 plus 3. Then we follow from left to right. Even though addition technically comes first, when you have it all, you just go from left to right. So negative 63 minus 5 gives us negative 68 plus 16 plus 3. Negative 68 plus 16 gives us negative 52 plus 3. And then our final answer, negative 52 plus 3, is negative 49. Remember to answer your summary. You want to answer the essential question, how do we evaluate expressions? Use your own words. Base it on the notes that we just took. The questions that you need to be able to answer to know that you've mastered this topic are you would need to be able to evaluate x squared minus 8y when x equals negative 5 and y equals 1/2. The second one, you need to be able to evaluate g plus 6t when g is equal to 2 and t is equal to 11. And the last one that you need to be able to solve, give yourself some space here. The quantity of 2t plus 3g divided by 4. And those are going to follow the same rules as before. G equals 2 and t equals 11. If you have any questions, please bring them to class. We will practice this more in class tomorrow.